Well, before we get started, I want to remind everybody that DragonCon is doing a sponsorship, a charity. We've got the QR codes up front here. The cure is dedicated to conquering the childhood cancer through funding targeted research while supporting patients and their families. Use the QR codes and DragonCon will match up to $125,000. And our track sponsor for 2023 is Zakat. For over 22 years, they've been empowering lives through disaster relief and distribution, orphan care, and more. Their top-notch ratings from Charity Navigator and BBB Wise Giving Alliance means your contributions are going to make a difference. Zakat.org. And with that, let's continue with our show.
Okay. Well, why don't we start off by introducing ourselves? Why don't we begin with Chuck?
Hi, I'm Chuck Tomasi. I do a podcast called Technorama with Craig Stepp. We also do another one that's a trio of ours called The Topic is Trek. We had a live panel yesterday. Anybody there? Awesome.
Alrighty.
Thank you. Great. If the camera was on the audience, they'd see a hand go up.
400 people just raised their hands.
That's
It's
right.
amazing.
Apparently my eyesight is failing me. We also have been podcasting since 2005, and it's sort of integrated into my day job. So I feel like I've got the best job in the world.
All right, I'm Craig Stepp, and I do a podcast called Technorama with this guy. I won't go through the whole thing, but spiel again. I'm sorry, we're going to take questions later.
I'm just going to raise my hand again.
Oh, okay. How many of you know about Technorama? There we
Oh,
go.
yeah, see?
A few people. A few hundred people.
Who's driving this thing?
Yeah. And so I'm Craig Stepp. We've been podcasting together since 2005. And, I tell people just doesn't – the thing about podcasting is nobody can tell us when to quit, right?
Right.
So,
Even though they've tried, obviously, many
That's
times. And I'm Clinton Alvord, and I don't do Technorama. I do a podcast called Comedy4Cast, which is all one word with the number 4. And I've been doing it about as long as these guys have been doing Technorama, since 2005. And I'm one of the co-hosts on The Topic is Trek.com. Ding.
dang.
And this is my lovely wife, Bonnie. Feel free to introduce yourself and what you do.
I'm his wife, Bonnie, and I do some
Full-time job.
voices for Comedy4Cast.
All right. So with all that said, shall we commence to begin?
Let us do.
All
Is it
right.
redundant? Commence to begin?
I do my best. I'm very excited to introduce our special guest, since she always brings something new and exciting to demonstrate. So without further delay, please welcome the owner of the Venus Arms Hotel and Towers and the Little Wicker Basket Company, Miss Abby Fallmacher.
Hey.
Thank you, everyone. I'm Abby Fallmacher, owner of the Little Wicker Basket Company. Little Wicker Baskets.
They're everywhere.
And I'm as excited to be here as I'm sure you all are. You're just getting seats to be here early for the karaoke, right? Since I am here, I'd like to take this opportunity to show off the latest development from the Little Wicker Research Department. You know, 2023 has been a big year for artificial intelligence.
That's nothing compared to this show.
Yeah, it's been packed with artificial humor for years.
Yeah.
I couldn't have said it better myself. That's why I told our crack squad of R&D specialists to come up with an artificial intelligence system that would kick OpenAI to the curb and take its virtual lunch money. And they've done it.
Ooh.
I'm excited to introduce for the first time ever our Little Wicker Baskets portable AI device. This is it. The Little Wicker Chatbot.
That looks like just a simple basket.
Ah, well,
Pause for tech.
there you go.
Ooh, eyes.
Put that in your musk and smoke it, Elon.
All right, Abby, tell us a little bit more about it. What makes this chatbot different?
Oh, well, let me tell you. First, it's made of a rare element called impossibilium.
Really?
No, you idiot. It's called a little wicker chatbot. What do you think it's made out of?
Yeah.
Yes, she told you, Craig.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you try, Chuck.
Can it make music?
No,
Can it create art?
no.
Okay.
Watch this, Craig.
All right.
Can it impersonate Imagine Dragons or The Weeknd?
I see. Just because I'm old, you think I don't know who those people are. Well, when I get back to Little Wicker Basket headquarters, I'm sure Doja Cat and Dua Lipa and I will just laugh and laugh.
Wowzers.
Fun fact, Little Wicker Baskets have been documented as far back as ancient Egypt.
Craig, I think she was there.
I heard that.
Wow, she's got some good hearing.
No, I have Little Wicker hearing aids. Easy to put in, but a real pain in the ear to take out.
Okay, back to the chatbot. What can you tell us about the specs on that thing?
Oh, it's pretty complex. It has 5K of internal memory, a 32 milliamp hour battery.
Wait, 32 milliamp, not 32,000 milliamp?
Look, are you going to ask it questions or use it to jumpstart your truck? It also has Arduino Nano processor, a 1.2 megapixel camera, and sensors out the wazoo. That's a technical term.
Okay, I'm getting there. How about a demo?
Certainly. But how about we up the ante? Let's have it program the whole show.
Wow. Okay. I'm all right.
Hey, chatbot!
I guess the chatbot doesn't have the little wicker hearing aids.
Chatbot, take things down a few notches and think like a podcaster. Create a show with a bunch of topics that will entertain a room of 10 friends. Some of these people are paid chair sitters, aren't they?
I'm not gonna.
Your first topic is on this day in history delivered by Clinton. Do this exactly as written.
Whoop. Let's do that chat again. Yell at the chatbot again.
Oh,
You got to ask it the prompt again. Give us a show.
Your first topic is on this day in history delivered by Clinton. Do this exactly
It's
as
an
written
angry
and don't
chatbot.
deviate from the script.
Okay.
Even the chatbot's yelling.
All right. I'm not sure about this. It looks like your little wicker chatbot is kind of like all those other AIs. It's got the basic idea, but something's off. And Chuck and I usually do that segment.
there are still a few bugs to work out. That's why we're partnering with Android.
Oh, you mean Data from Star Trek?
No, Mark Zuckerberg. Have you noticed he never blinks?
Okay. Let's hold it right there and let's see how this goes. So good luck, Clinton.
Thank you. I'm gonna need it. Let's see. We've got to. While we're getting our tech set up here, do we have is the throwable mic hot? Okay. This is on this day in history, and we should be seeing up on the screen, knock on wood, some fun facts about this day in history. So I'm going to read the first part, but the next slide that comes up, we like to have somebody from the audience read that and go through the rest of the slides, turning off to different people, switching off to different people to read them. So who would like to be the first volunteer who's going to get the, all right?
I should also ask, is anybody visually impaired? Okay, don't throw the mic at her.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's don't do that.
All right.
Are you ready? Music and everything?
Okay, here we go. On this day in history, for Saturday, September 2nd, 2023, this is the 245th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, and there are only 356,962 days remaining in the millennium. Next slide.
It was on this day in 1987 that flight passenger Rowan Bach became the one and only person to ever find the How to Fasten Your Seatbelt Flight Safety Information helpful.
Okay, next up, volunteers. All right. Oh, they're right there.
Also today in 2006, Pluto failed to meet the deadline to renew its subscription in the League of Extraordinary Planets and was kicked out.
Ooh, so sad, so sad.
Denied.
Oh, I'll give it to you. Don't worry. It was on this date in 1540, while attempting to break her husband out of the Bastille, that Marie Dumas baked a sword into a loaf of bread, accidentally inventing the baguette.
True fact.
Also today in 1420, the very first batch of Ming vases was fired in China. This was followed by thousands more batches, creating a virtually endless supply of this rare piece of history.
Anyone else?
Interesting presentation style.
It's pretty easy.
Here we go.
On this date in the early 26th century BC, the architect of the Great Pyramid of Giza visited the construction site and exclaimed, "No, no, no, the point was supposed to be at the bottom."
Next.
Whoa!
Oh,
Good catch.
And also today in 1837, in this early morning ceremony, a main roadway in Atlanta was christened Peachtree Street, followed by a second at noon and a third at 2:30 p.m.
Next.
Happy birthday goes out on this date to mathematician Cy Forex, who first developed the equation that allows Ticketmaster to sell out a concert just before you reach the top of the queue.
It's true.
Amazing.
Next. Back up.
Get ready, Nathan.
Oh,
So close. So close.
Also born on this date was chemist Tess Tubes, who invented the lesser-known follow-up product to superglue, Sidekick tape, but later found success with her knockoff of Gorilla Glue, Simeon Stickies.
Astronaut Ray Entree turns 89 today and is probably best known as the first person in space to ever leave their blinker on during the entire orbital flight.
It's like NASCAR. It's just a bunch of left turns.
that's right.
And finally, architect Bill Ding was born on this date in 1899. Ding is known worldwide for his work creating the deep dish pizza pavilion for the 1933 Chicago World's Fair, because dozens of fairgoers sank into the soft floor of the structures, never to be seen again.
And that's the way it was on this date in history.
Let's give it up for the audience.
Hey, audience.
Awesome.
Well, that was interesting.
Flawless. Chatbot, what's next?
The second segment involves the three of you doing a public service announcement.
Sounds good.
All right.
What do you say we do it?
Okay. Hello, my name is Clinton.
And I'm Craig.
And I'm Chuck.
You might remember us from things like the last few sketches. But right now, we'd like to take just a moment to talk to you about a very important subject.
Did you know that each and every year, thousands of folks just like you miss out on an opportunity to help those in need?
That's right, Chuck. And it's such a shame, too, because it's easy to lend a hand. With one simple act, you can change the life of someone forever.
Of course, we're talking about rating this Digital Media Track podcast panel by using your cell phone and the DragonCon app.
In less time than it takes to walk over to the Marriott and buy a cup of coffee at Starbucks, you can give Comedy4Cast Technorama the love and support it needs and deserves.
Yeah, in fact, let's do it now. Just open up the app and go to today's date. Scroll down to 8:30 time slot. Click the listing for Comedy4Cast Technorama. Then click the clipboard and rate us 5 stars in every category.
Well, you don't have to rate us 5 stars, but If you don't, well, we really can't say what might happen to Jeffrey the giraffe.
Wait, how did I get involved in all of this? Do what they say!
So remember, everyone here on the Comedy4Cast Technorama panel strives for fives, and all you have to do is spend a few moments making that dream come true.
And as a bonus, if you act right now, nothing will happen to this giraffe or this dinosaur.
They mean it! Just give them what they want!
No, thank you. 5. Thank you.
Well, this is getting weird.
Getting weird. Have you ever been to this panel before?
I'm almost afraid to ask what's next, but here goes. Okay, little wicker chatbot, what's next?
The third segment involves the audience.
Okay, I'm sure the audience is going to love this one again.
Yeah, we can only hope.
All right, well, we better get this over with. So Bonnie is going to hand out some cards here, or slips of paper. Each of them has 3 movie phrases on them. And I'm going to read a fairy tale. And when they get to a certain point in the story, Bonnie's going to hold up a sign that says, "Get ready." And that means coming up is going to be a place where you can fill in a line in the story with one of these phrases. Now, keep in mind, it doesn't have to fit exactly. You can be creative with what you want to do, creative with your reading of it. And so it is the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. I think you know where most of these things are going to be coming up.
That's a new one
in
for
the
me.
story. Oh, I'm sorry. And it's a spoiler alert on this one, I suppose, for you then. So we have a bunch of them here. And if Bonnie has leftovers and anybody wants a second one to increase their odds of winning, she'll be happy to give that to you as well. So we will.
You just want to point to somebody?
I'll point to somebody, and we will use the microphone again for that.
Where did our throwing mic go?
Okay.
Okay.
All righty. And we are just about set there. I feel like if you come in, and she's running the bend, coming in. Here comes Beetlebum.
She's coming in hot. She's coming in hot.
Yes.
I won't throw it at you.
Okay. Everybody set?
Okay.
All righty. Once upon a time, 3 little bears lived in a nice little house in the great forest. Or maybe it was a great little house in a nice forest. No one knows for sure. Now, in this possibly great house lived 3 bears. Father bear, a mother bear, and a wee little baby bear. To keep the censors happy, Father Bear and Mother Bear each had their own bed. So did the wee little baby bear, and they each had their own chair to sit on, and a bowl and a spoon for eating milk and honey, or cereal, or soup, or let's face it, bears aren't really that particular. One morning, the 3 bears decided to take a walk before breakfast. You see, lately, Father had not been getting in his 10,000 steps. But before they went out, Mother Bear poured nice warm milk into each of their bowls so it could cool by the time they came home. As they stepped outside, Father Bear growled, "What a fine day it is." Mother Bear said, "Oh, what a fine day it is." And for some reason, Baby Bear squealed,
"A census taker once tried to test me. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti."
"Watch out for wee little Baby Bear."
That escalated quickly.
Perhaps now is a good time to mention that there also lived in the same forest a sweet little girl named Goldilocks. Goldilocks Henrietta Landers Claire McDermott, to be more precise. She knew every tree in the woods, every flower in the meadows. She was a nerd that way. She loved to hear the birds sing their songs. It was mostly R&B, but every once in a while they whistled something from Hamilton or My Fair Lady. One day, in fact, the same day the bears went their walk, Goldilocks happened upon the bear's house. She wondered who lives there, even though the name The Bears was clearly visible on the mailbox. She was such a silly little girl. She tapped at the door, but there was no answer. So Goldilocks stepped in and began looking around. which is certainly what anyone would do in that situation. Am I right? She saw an unattended fire in the fireplace and bowls of hot milk set on the table, looking very inviting. You see, the early spring air had made Goldilocks rather cold and very hungry. She went to the table and tasted the milk in each of the bowls, as if the bear's house was some sort of Golden Corral buffet. First, she tried the milk in Father Bear's bowl. Ooh, this milk is too hot. Then she tried the milk in Mother Bear's bowl. This milk is too cold. And finally, she tried the milk in wee little baby bear's bowl and ever so daintily said,
"If you're looking for ransom, I can tell you that I don't have any money. But what I do have is a very particular set of skills. I wish I knew how to quit you. You shall not pass."
Oh my goodness, she's gone through the whole bunch. So Goldilocks took the wee little baby bear's bowl and spoon and sat down in the wee little baby bear's chair by the fire and finished up his milk. But wee little baby bear's chair was too small for Goldilocks. She broke the woven seat and fell right through. "Oh my," Goldilocks cried out. "Clearly this chair was not manufactured by the Little Wicker Basket Company. Little Wicker Baskets, they're everywhere." Not feeling she had caused enough damage, Goldilocks doubled down and went upstairs, and there she saw 3 beds all in a row. Goldilocks lay down on Father Bear's bed first and said, "This bed is too hard." Then she tried Mother Bear's bed and said, "This bed is too soft." Finally, she tried wee little baby bear's bed and in a judgmental but impartial way said,
"Houston, we have a problem."
And there she fell asleep, which I'm sure you'll agree was a perfectly normal thing to do when breaking into someone else's house. Or maybe that's just me. By and by, the bears came home and Father Bear saw the door was wide open. In the past, he would have immediately blamed wee little baby bear, but counseling had taught him to first look deep inwards and not lash out at others. Still, the bears were very hungry and went to the table to have their bowls of milk. But something was very wrong. Father Bear growled, "Someone's been eating my breakfast." Mother Bear said, "Someone has been eating my breakfast." And wee little baby bear quite randomly squealed,
"By Grabthar's hammer, by the sons of Warvan, you shall be avenged."
This was very concerning. The bears decided to sit by the fire and ponder what had happened. But something was wrong there, too. Father Bear growled, "Someone has been sitting in my chair." Mother Bear said, "Someone's been sitting in my chair." And looking at the broken pieces of furniture that used to be his chair, wee little baby bear inexplicably squealed,
"Back off, man. I'm a scientist."
Just then the bears heard the sound of someone snoring. Loudly. No, really loudly. It was like someone was jackhammering granite. "It's coming from the bedroom upstairs," said Mother Bear. Now, Father Bear had been doing his best to remain in a state of zen, but this was just too much. The 3 bears quickly climbed the stairs to the bedroom. Father Bear growled, "Someone has been sleeping in my bed." Mother Bear said, "Oh, someone's been sleeping in my bed." And seeing Goldilocks asleep in their bed, wee little baby bear took a deep breath and squealed,
"You come at the king, you best not miss."
Father Bear growled, "Let's eat her up." Mother Bear said, "Let's eat her up." And wee little baby bear, now on a roll, squealed,
"I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum."
The noise they made woke up Goldilocks. You can imagine how frightened she was. I mean, talking bears, am I right? Goldilocks hopped out of bed and jumped out of the window, completely forgetting she was on the 2nd floor. As she limped away, cursing that she had let her medical coverage lapse, Father Bear growled, "And don't come back." Mother Bear said, "And don't come back." And wee little baby bear, knowing he was getting the last line and it had to be a real zinger, squealed,
"I see dead people."
The end.
sorry.
Hey, little wicker chatbot. Are we done yet?
I'm not sure you're ready for the final segment.
Whoops.
Not so fast. The fourth segment is another fan favorite. Chuck and Craig are doing Technorama Summer Movie Summertime Theater Show reviews with Donnie Breadcrust. Here's your script.
Who? Isn't that supposed to be Danny Hillcrest?
Oh, just roll with it and see what happens.
Adaptive technology. I love it.
All right. Well, Donnie, it's been a busy summer for movies. Are you ready for this?
Hi, Donnie Breadcrust here. Yep, I sure am. Donnie and ready.
All right.
My lips aren't moving at all.
You sound really familiar, but you wouldn't happen to be related to that Danny Hillcrest from Comedy4Cast podcast, would you?
I have no idea. Who is that? Because they sound awesome.
Sure they do. Okay. Just checking because we wouldn't want to get any legal problems of intellectual property.
If it has anything to do with intellectual, you can restingly be sure I had nothing to do with it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, let's get started. Let's hear your thoughts on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Ooh, this is an epic tale of the pup about how the crew lands their ship in a Midwestern town of mutants and starts the worst game of dodgeball since that Ben Stiller movie.
Wait, do you mean the movie Dodgeball?
No, Night at the Museum. Of course, this movie has lots of shooting, ships crashing, and Rocket talking about running away or flying away or something. Say, I didn't know that raccoons could fly. Does the FAA know about this?
That's your review? Did you even watch the movie?
Nope. Who needs to waste time after time doing that? I only watch the trailers because that's where the best parts are.
All right. So are you sure you don't know Danny Hillcrest? Anyway, let's try another. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Oh, Harrison Ford is he's retiring as Han Solo at the age of 164. Just a few years short of Joe Biden. When he gets wind of a mysterious device that can change history. Boy, he sure could have used that when they offered him the Crystal Skull movie.
Mm-hmm.
That creepy guy from Hannibal shows up as a Nazi who ruins everything. He tries to get away by riding a horse through New York City. According to what I saw, he's looking for a phone booth so he can use the Dial of Destiny. I hope he has exact change.
I'm not sure how Clinton does this, but I'm pretty sure I appreciate his suffering now. Let's move on. Okay, I'm a big fan of The Flash. What are your thoughts about the latest movie?
The Flash teams up with a Beetlejuice Batman and Superman, who's a superwoman, to fight the evil Zod and change the past after he already changed the past. This has everything. Crossovers, time travel, a real lesson about how our past defines us, and cool bat gadgets.
Yeah. You sound like you actually saw that one.
Yep, I was that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody had to do it.
Yeah. Well, how about we jump to two of the summer's biggest blockbusters, starting with Oppenheimer.
I love that song. John Jingle Oppenheimer Schmidt. That's my name too.
Yeah.
Well, really, it's Donnie, but that doesn't rhyme with anything in the song.
Okay, move along.
Oh, right. This is a film by Christopher Nolan, so I hope the audience has got their liner notes and backstory handouts. Anyway, these scientists who dress up like they're from the 1940s build a big bomb very slowly. In between each piece they put together, the bomb keeps going off, kind of like an Adam Sandler film festival. No, really, I think Christopher Nolan took directing lessons from Michael Bay. They keep asking if anyone is ever going to tell what's really happened, which is confusing since I really don't know what happened.
I'm not surprised. All right, so let's move on to the big one, Barbie.
Throw another shrimp on the Barbie for me, too, Captain Kangaroo Jack.
The movie, Donnie.
Oh, right. We're transportingly taken to a mythical pink place called Barbie Land, where everybody just waves and asks, "Hi, Barbie?" Her boyfriend Ken isn't too bright because he asked her to stay over at Barbie's place, but he has no idea why. Don't worry, Ken. Lucky for you, I'm as good at dating tips as I am at movie reviews.
Okay, not very inspiring, Donnie.
Ken and Barbie nearly get in a car wreck, but it's okay because Ken has his roller skates. Although I fail to see the purpose. Maybe he should have used them on the date to increase his chances of staying over. The great part is that all the music is by Pink.
Well, now we know how to write a movie to earn over $1 billion. Thanks, Donnie, for your insights. Now, I know there were several more that we could have done, like book club, the next chapter.
I always skip ahead to the last chapter, so I'll wait until that one comes out.
All right, well, try this one. How about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse?
Oh, Mark Zuckerberg was working on that, right?
No, the Spider-Verse, not the metaverse.
Oh, good. Because I don't want to see a spider showing up on my virtual parties. And spiders have 8 eyes, so they'd be 4 times as virtual as me. Besides, didn't we already go into the Spider-Verse? What's next? Down the Spider-Verse? Through the Spider-Verse? Or how about go 3 blocks down, hang a right, 4 more blocks, then left at the Dunkin' Donuts, past the Venus Arms Hotel and Towers until you get to the Spider-Verse?
That sounds about right. Maybe next time we can talk to you about Blue Beetle.
I thought you had a red beetle.
Not my car. That's a VW Beetle. What do you think?
I love that car.
Yeah. All right. Say goodbye, Donnie.
Goodbye, Donnie.
Ah, very weird hearing that. Very, very weird.
Yeah.
You ought to hear my Dick Bando.
Yeah.
Dick Bando is not amused with that Dick Bando impression. We've made it to the final segment. Based on the rest of the show, I am so afraid to ask what's next, but here goes. Little Wicker Chatbot, what's our final segment?
I'm not sure you're ready for the final segment.
Oh, come on, please.
Are you sure?
Why not? Can't be any worse than the last 45 minutes of this show.
I'll take that as a compliment.
All right, clearly a case of AI hallucination there.
For the last segment, you will perform PowerPoint karaoke.
They must have been talking to the Solver X crew.
Yeah, more like ripping them off.
Yeah. Isn't that illegal?
Probably, but it's fun. And until there's an official ruling on intellectual property generated from AI, we can still get away with it.
All right. Good enough for me. Let's go.
It's a funny story. Since we wrote that line, there has been a ruling.
Yeah, that's right.
Whoopsie. Technology moves so fast.
And our writers are on strike.
Yeah, the writer's strike is hard on everybody.
So what we've done here is each of us has prepared a PowerPoint presentation, or in this case, a Google slide presentation for another member of the 3 of us in our team. We spared Bonnie on this one. So we have not seen what the presentation is or the slides that follow until right now. So this is going to be interesting. Who do we have first?
Who's on first? That would be me.
All right.
I think. And I think that the file is Chuck's PowerPoint.
Yes.
So hold on. First time I've seen this. Calculating data storage footprint requirements. Well, let me tell you about data storage footprint requirements. I've prepared this PowerPoint, working on this, rehearsed it for weeks. I'm ready for my keynote, boss. Data storage is much like a dumpster, especially a dumpster on fire. And the only people who can truly address a dumpster fire is NASA. NASA has the computational power and, coincidentally, the data storage. In fact, they could fit a horse into their data storage farm.
What does that even mean?
And when that happens, everybody's happy. Even this kid with his hips on backwards.
Disjointed.
Because when you get your data storage right, you've got it lined up in an array. There's different types of storage, different RAID levels. I won't go through all of that for you because this is not a data storage enablement class. It's much like this kid's teeth. When you're missing a drive, if a drive goes down, like he's missing a tooth, the other teeth compensate and work, and the food gets chewed and swallowed and backwards pants, because why not?
The heck? I think I saw this today, right here.
We need data storage for many things, including this live stream on Twitch. You're wondering where I'm going with this, aren't you?
You are too. So there we go.
Twitch is available to many people, like DragonCon. I saw this cosplay today. Lady with a corn cob going up an escalator. Trying to get in the elevators at DragonCon with angel wings is much like trying to go up an escalator. We've lost track of the data storage thread. I'm sorry. Suffice it to say, take the escalator and not the stairs when it comes to data storage. Thank you.
There you go.
And there's a kernel of truth in what you say.
Yeah. Not a kernel of truth.
Kernel of truth. Lovely. All right, who suffers next?
It starts whoever's next up on the hit parade on your laptop, I guess.
Okay. We're going with Craig's presentation. Are you ready?
Ready as I'll ever be. Here we go. How to make a podcast.
Ooh.
I think I've done it once or twice. When we first started podcasting, this is the workflow that we had originally. We would start at the top and record the thing. Then we'd have to edit it, use Levelator, upload it, realize we made a change, and we had to remove everybody's coughs and hums and ahs. Then we would upload it again. Then we would actually deliver each podcast to all the listeners directly. Eventually, we moved on to where they can download it themselves.
Where does the tribal governance come in?
That's where they get the feedback.
Is that when somebody gets
That's where we
voted
get
off the
feedback from.
podcast? I don't know.
Yeah, that's the feedback from the listeners.
There's outside support from insurgent factions. Are we talking about that today?
No.
Need
Okay.
to know basis. Please.
Moving on.
All right. So as social media started to come up as we were podcasting, we had to do a design change in our workflow that we saw earlier. So we had to change for social media. So a design for social change. We had obviously lots of models for diversity, and we had to gravitate and change our situations on the fly. And we had to make sure that everything was eco-friendly because we didn't want to leave a footprint, which I don't think we've left many footprints on many iPods or anybody's phones over the years. All right. And then once you have a successful podcast, you get to profit and eat watermelon just like this dog.
Did not know that. I have to
make notes. That's right. It's
20 years later, and we haven't had any watermelon yet.
We're still working there. Yeah, we're still getting there. So, see, as easy as even this dog can profit from podcasting. So there you go.
Is this a plug for the dog days of podcast?
Didn't even think about that. Yes.
Well, thank you, Craig. That was enlightening.
Was it though?
Finally, we have Clinton's.
Oh dear me. Oh, so the title slide is already we're going here. Oops. Look at that. So we're talking about capybaras. They're the world's largest rodent, I believe
Yes,
it is. Yes,
they
look
are.
at that. Look at that.
Wow.
Fact what I've got there. And they can live for 8 to 10 years if you consider being a capybara living, I suppose. And they can weigh between 35 and 66 kilograms, which is 4 to 5 tons. We convert that over to imperial. They can grow up to 106 to 134 centimeters in length, which is 1 to 2 inches, if you're keeping track on that one. And they can grow to 50 to 60 centimeters in height, which means they're roughly the size of the Empire State Building. So I want you to keep all those facts in mind as we go through this presentation. Because this is the life cycle of a capybara. It consumes most of the capybara's brain capacity to hold this information, because if they skip one step, they have to start all over again and begin the entire process. We see in here, this is the part where they're cute, and this is the part where they're you might want to have it as a pet, and then it becomes, oh my God, it's the size of Godzilla, please get it out of here now. And it no longer flushes down the toilet, which you shouldn't do in the first place. So they just set them wild in the forest. That's why if you go into any forest these days, I'm sure we've all had the experience of running across a Empire State Building sized capybara running through there. And you've wondered what to do. Well, if you just consult line item 362 on here, it explains exactly how to scare away a capybara. So you want to check that out later. It's far too complicated for me to get into right now, but it's simple. Yes, exactly. And so then what happens is this is the simplified life cycle of the capybara. It looks identical to what was going on in the other presentation.
Podcasting and capybaras have a lot of common.
This is called when the capybara uses Google search to show me random complex slides. And this one comes up all the time. So when the capybara gets to reach a certain age, then they have to have they have to go into governmental service. They have to be part of the community. So this explains how they get involved with all that. This is, of course, this is the central government part of it. Now, there are factions outside the capybaras that do not want to be part of any of this. Those are the anarchistic capybaras, and you have to be very careful about them because they're the ones with the glowing red eyes. And you know what glowing red eyes mean. Lots of Visine is needed. So we have down here.
I think that's where the narcotics come in.
Oh, well, that's over here on the side. That's the first one is Free Capybara Movement. Down here we have the infrastructure, and that's not what you think it is. That's like the intestinal tract of the capybara. So that's that one there. So I'm hoping that all of this has explained to you everything you need to know when you run across the capybara in the woods. Thank you.
There you go. Yeah. Hey, Abby, actually, that was more fun than I thought it would be.
I told you AI could put you three bozos out of a job.
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Yeah, well, I'm sure.
Then be sure to order yours at littlewickerbaskets.com. And remember, Little Wicker Baskets.
They're everywhere. All right. Well, that concludes our formal presentation. Are there any questions? I guess I should throw in case there are any questions from Twitch. Okay. Just we wanted to make sure that we cut
about the life cycle of the capybara.
Was there anybody?
Do we have any naturalists out there going, no, this is all wrong, all horribly wrong. It's more complicated than you imagine.
No, there was just nobody watching.
Any questions from the audience about anything? Any questions about? So what we did for this show this time around is we thought, let's switch things up. And we literally switched things up because I usually do a character named Danny Hillcrest who does movie reviews without ever having seen the movies. But when we had Donnie Breadcrumbs do it, I had Chuck and Craig write that entire segment. And Chuck and Craig usually do This Day in History. So I wrote that segment instead. So we actually switched up the writing roles for part of the show this time around. And then we found that we had lots of little bits that we had to do. So all of us said, well, we'll get Bonnie to do that.
That's right.
That's why she's in charge of the time clock and handing out the cards.
The wicker basket.
Absolutely. So a big extra hand for Bonnie here. Yeah. And it's also noted to me that we're all being very close to the microphones, and Bonnie's sitting at the one where the microphone is the furthest possible away from where she is. To get to your microphone.
I can't make it get any closer.
Use your mind powers. All right. So with that, see, keep going.
Oh, it's in 3D.
Wow. It's amazing. So we also want to thank everyone in the digital media track.
Now we have to do the whole show over.
For all their help. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Media Track.
And we also want to thank you, the audience, for coming. You're the one that makes this live show a live show. And once again, you can find our shows at Comedy4Cast.com.
Number 4.
All one word with the number 4. And
just search for Technorama podcast on the internet. You'll find it. It's top search result on Google, where it has been till tonight.
All right.
Now it's the Swiss Science Center.
Oh, that's it. That's it. We're
All
done.
right.
Done.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
And stick around for the karaoke.